Last time on Strip Search.
Your task is to create an original comic strip.
And I'm gonna do it. And it's gonna be fucking great.
Just excited to start.
To have this is amazing.
Only 6 strips?
Gotta make it good.
Yeah, it's gotta be the best 6 strips I've ever written.
Let's get your work and go meet the creators.
Hello artists, it's been a while. All of you have now had some time to go home and create new comic strips, and we're very excited to see what you've made.
Maki, let's see what you got.
Gentlemen, my strip is called Sufficiently Remarkable, which is kind of an ode to my experience on Strip Search. I know everybody's kind of the underdog in their own story. It's, a slice of life strip. It's very character driven. It's very story driven, which is something that I'm not used to. And Strip Search has been all about stepping outside my comfort zones, finding my weaknesses, finding new strengths. And that's what I set about to do with this. It's a kind of a love song for the mediocre and an ode to kind of the magic that happens in life.
That's the whatever sign. I'm already disappointed. Abby.
The Last Halloween is a black and white black comedy about the end of the world. It is a graphic novel with many parts, and it's about monsters taking over the world on Halloween. And the only person who really notices is this little girl named Mona. And then it's up to her and a team of really strange undead people to try to save the world from the coming apocalypse.
I had the same idea once. Katie, let's see what you got.
My comic is called Camp We Don't Want Ya, and it is a children in peril comic. And it is about like what it's like to be a little kid and be at camp, except that at this camp, your parents never come and get you. You're stuck there forever. There's no adults to watch you, so it's a dangerous but fun environment. And it's very character-driven, it's story-driven. It's sort of written in a way so that it can either have like long ongoing stories or gag comics. And I hope you like it.
I doubt it. Well, after hearing those 3 pitches, I have to say that I feel even better now about my chances of winning this thing. I'm not actually going to look at all this work right now because you all have one final challenge. All of you are veterans of the elimination stage.
And this is an elimination stage. But tonight, shit is fucking crazy. You will each, one at a time, approach the wastebasket of broken dreams. Inside the basket are ideas which were, perhaps, before their time. You will each choose one idea from the basket, and then, in the next 4 hours, you will each create a 3-strip arc in the universes you've made.
That 3-strip arc has to include 2 of the themes drawn here tonight.
Maki, for the last time, approach the basket.
Abby, please approach the basket. Katie, please approach the basket.
Maki, reveal your idea.
Creation.
Topical.
Abby, What do you have? Good versus evil. Interesting.
So far, we have kind of a Genesis thing.
Yeah. Katie, what did you draw? Morality. Wow.
It's pretty heavy shit.
Okay.
Now, Katie, you have a redraw ticket. Would you like to put that ticket to work tonight, replacing any of these themes?
But these all go together.
You could frame it, put it up on your wall.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that and I'll keep these words.
In that case, the competition begins now.
Ready. Set. Art.
Yeah, let's start looking at this stuff. Go with the camera.
Here's the full.
Oh, yeah. So, Katie, is this something that you have had sort of kicking around in your head for a while? Or is this something that when we sent you back from Strip Search, you cooked up?
I'd wanted to do, like I said, a kids in peril story for a long time. I had an idea kicking around about kids in like a Game of Thrones type of environment where like wars are happening and these kids are like just below notice and that's how they survive.
It doesn't have the bleak edge.
Yeah, it was really difficult because like I want the humor to come from the characters, but have the sort of underlying story have like sort of dark tones. Yeah. But it was really difficult to introduce this idea without making it too dark.
Exactly, and that's why the particulars aren't super. Well, they're not super.
Well, yeah, I like
here.
the introduction. Like the note home is really good. All of these pages here are, I mean, beautiful pages. Like, how often do you see yourself making one of these? Is this like once a week?
Yeah, once a week, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
If I got faster, I mean, I normally on my strip that I do right now, for almost 4 years, I had help with all the backgrounds.
Well, now isn't your strip now written also by somebody else?
They used to be about half and half. Like it was just my creative partner would come up with an idea and draw it, and we would execute it, or I would come up with an idea and we'd draw it and execute it.
So how do you feel about now, like being completely on your own?
I like it. I definitely prefer it.
It would be
Sounds
better.
great. God,
Yeah.
it sounds amazing.
Well, it was cool to have something that's totally me and I don't have to compromise at all with someone else's
Sounds
idea.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, you're speaking my language actually.
Because in normal circumstances, you can bounce ideas off of your friends and
guess.
stuff. And
Sort of. But how much value do you really get out of that?
Zero value. Do you think once a week is enough to build an audience?
it's worked out for me. My comic right now is once a week.
I think this is actually 3 strips. Yeah. Here's a punch. Here's
Yeah,
a
there's
punch.
3 punches in it.
Here's a strip. You see what I mean? Like I think that these pages could be other individual strips. And again, like I mean, how you want to do it is your thing. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do it, but when we, are up to our elbows in a project, the fact of the matter is we can't always see it.
Yeah, because I figured once the characters are a little bit more developed, it'll be easier to write like 3-panel strips because
Sure.
the characters will already be, people the audience knows.
It's true, but I gotta say, like I'm not sure you would ever be truly happy making 3-panel strips. And so having 3 panels sort of gives you an editor, if nothing else. I think you are always going to want to reach.
I prefer that, yeah.
You know what I mean? You are always, this is what you want to do. You are always going to want to do this. I can see exactly where the individual ideas have terminus points and yet still communicate a full page. And then when it comes time to go to print, you're ready to go to print with a full page.
I mean, it is ready for merchandise. The camp merchandise
It's gross.
is pretty great.
Pocket knives. You can tell that he's been there for a long time, right in the character design. And it's just, I love it.
Yeah, they're supposed to look like pretty unkempt and like they don't bathe all that often.
Do you worry about offending people who don't love their children?
No.
Okay.
I think the people who don't love their children are a core demographic for
Yeah.
this work. All right,
on.
get back to work.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, this is Abby.
Abby's. Fresh. What the fuck? Oh, this is a genuinely horrible.
Yeah, that's why I said, what the fuck?
And we had that comic that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
No, Abby, wait a second. So, not only have you delivered the last Halloween, but you're also proposing a sequel.
Several.
So how long do you see the last Halloween running?
I'm thinking I would update once a week.
Okay.
It would be like an update, like that would be an update.
One
I'm
of these
planning on,
pages?
yeah, I could easily finish this over the summer.
So it'd be a few months.
Yeah, a few months of work and it would be done if I won. If not, it would take longer.
So, do you see these pages that we have here as being the introduction, like the first comics that would get posted?
No, definitely not. This is, I chose some of the, like a shorter section from the middle.
It feels like I'm in the middle.
A vignette, if you will.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the intro is, we get to meet the characters.
I should know all these characters by now and have favorites and understand all the. Okay.
Yep.
I just thought it was a very bold art house introduction.
No.
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying that you have 200 pages of script.
Yeah.
But that's text. That's not.
No, not 200 pages of text. God, no. 200 pages of like pages.
Oh, okay.
I pictured
That's
you.
200 comic strips?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to you have 200 pages written.
I would upload once a week, but it would be a scene a week.
Is this a scene?
The entire thing you have right there is one scene.
All these pages is a scene.
Yes, I know, I know.
I see. That's interesting.
Okay.
I just don't want to leave people hanging.
That's rare.
You would draw all of these. So like this would be 1 week's worth of content, but uploaded all on like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Why that way?
Because I don't like how comics break up storylines. So like, I have a lot of like pauses and I put them there on purpose so that I could do this because I like,
Timing.
So it's a storytelling.
yeah.
The idea of a scene, that's pretty rare.
I would prefer to read something like that. So I decided to just do that.
And why not spread it out like 2 strips a day for 3 days or whatever over the course of a week?
Because she wants this whole thing to be a
You want
scene.
someone to read this all at once.
Yeah.
And so that she can break it up the way that she wants.
I see.
Instead of having punch.
Yeah, I don't want a formula. I want it to be fluid. I want it to make sense.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter how long the scenes are going to be. That is how I've decided to do it. I'm prepared to accept whatever criticism you have on that.
We'll see about that.
So do you have about a year? Do you have about a year in the can there, Maki, or?
The longer it went, the more I just kept going. I just kept writing, and it actually helped because I was able to cut out like 4 or 5 comics and basically sent what I thought were the strongest of the bunch.
So the first strip, now I get it looking back at it again, but it still feels out of place? Like, are there supposed to be vignettes like this that are like looks into their past?
It's basically, yeah, there's a series of one-offs.
And it seems like in that character specifically is definitely a daydreamer.
That was one of the ones that probably finished last and I almost didn't include.
I see that, and also this young version of the character. I mean, there is probably a strip in that. There is probably a completely separate strip, or at the very least, a subcategory of sufficiently remarkable that specifically deals with that, with the complexities inherent in that relationship.
This is very different for you.
You know, in high school, some of the first comics I drew were EverQuest webcomics.
No shit.
Yeah, way back. And that was a continuous storyline. And since then, I never did that.
Was this an idea that you had before, or you cooked it up?
No, that I've completely cooked up.
This is all brand new. Even these character designs are brand new?
Only one of them isn't, and that's Anton.
Yeah.
He is a character I've had kicking around for a while, and who I've wanted to kind of incorporate in multiple projects at once.
Is this going to essentially be like a moonlighting scenario? Like, are these two always going to be like, are they not? Is it a Ross and Rachel sort of thing?
Yeah, I haven't quite decided whether it'd just be like something that just never happens, or something that does, and then they go through it goes sour, and then there's redemption.
It seems to me like it's about them.
They get a lot of focus in this because that's kind of how they are brought together.
I mean, it might just be because I think she's the best design, but to me it feels like Meg is the main character. Is that not?
I imagined Reedy and Meg as the main character.
But we see way more of Reedy's thought.
How often are you gonna update?
And when drawing these, I definitely, that was definitely in the process of like, geez, how many of these could I do?
Because you have some traditional page style, and then there's plenty of them that are also.
Yeah, I mean something like this format, right? Is this 3 times a week?
I'm not quite sure I'd stop my current comic. One thought is I'd do that one once a week and then this twice a week.
That makes sense, because this, especially this format, that's something that could fit in alongside of an existing work. Do you find it impossible not to relate facts?
Yes.
Listen, that doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah, I mean stuff like this is very reminiscent of the work that you're doing right now.
Through my current comic, I've always struggle with the idea of like, who I'm reaching. In my current comic, I feel like I'm reaching the people who are already way into science. They're already fans. So with this one, I kind of wanted to keep that in there because it's what excites me, but kind of more slip it in.
I mean, I have a similar problem that I'm, being treated for, where I have to tell people things that I find are interesting constantly, and I honestly don't care if they like it.
I like that attitude.
Educating people against their will is the name of the game, especially when I see like an actual drawing of a bird and then a bunch of facts about birds and how they use their digestive fluid as a weapon. It makes the rest of the strip seem scientific, even though it's not meant to be. I find that sort of thing super interesting.
All right.
We all done?
Yeah, I win.
Yeah. So we're gonna go home, and then we'll come back in the morning, and whoever is still alive, welcome to the family.
So, Katie, what has it been like watching the show?
It's been surprisingly enjoyable.
What about the people who are like, oh, they picked the wrong comic. Abby's comic sucked a butt.
They said that on everyone else's too.
Yeah, but they meant it.
Well, that's too bad. I'm not for everyone, and I know that. Sometimes my humor is kind of strange.
Are you responding to trolls?
No.
That's funny because before the cameras were rolling, you mentioned that you wanted all those people who don't like you to die.
Did I?
Yeah.
Do you have proof of that?
Yes.
Actually, we probably do.
We could probably create a multi-angle DVD feature.
Of me just saying that over and over.
Maki, are you reading the comments?
It's funny, like, while we were waiting in the shame hole, Amy and I had a long conversation about whether we were going to, like, look at the comments, whether we were going to engage. And now we both go into 4chan and, like...
Into 4chan? What? Are you crazy? I meant, like, the comments on our site.
Oh, yeah. I basically read all the comments.
What?
Why?
You know,
You know what? For them, it's new.
I just drink in the trolling and the commentary and the brutal honesty.
Feed on it?
Yeah, you know, good or bad, I just love it. I just love hearing what people think. And the angrier they are, the more fun it is.
That sounds familiar. Did you read anything that made you feel super good?
I read a lot of stuff that made me feel super good. I read a lot more stuff that made me feel super good than made me feel super bad.
But at the end of the day, there's still the venom.
Oh yeah, I mean, the hateful comments stick with me a lot more.
They really want you to know how bad they think you are.
Especially if a lot of other people think that I'm good, then they're just like, no, you're wrong. She's actually the worst. What are you even thinking?
The thing that really drives me crazy, and I'm not even you guys, it's not even my work being up there, but when people start trying to explain the jokes,
Oh, they're terrible at it.
it's like strangling a joke to death.
Pushing the joke in your face, and it's like, let's break down every word.
Now, if you're Canadian, this is especially funny. Katie. So has being on the show, do you think it's made you more of a public figure? Like, how has that affected you? How has that been?
It's been really cool having a different type of person look at my website and stuff. Because I mean, I don't know, obviously like most of the people I get that I'm influenced by and interact with are more animation people. And I remember when I first originally started doing webcomics, there was sort of like, it felt like a little weird, like, hey, animation people, get out of our webcomics. Like,
So what do your animation friends think of the show?
I know that I have friends who disapprove. Fuck them.
So have people come to you and said that this show is dumb, you shouldn't have done it?
I've had people come to me and say, you know who said the show is dumb and you shouldn't have done it.
No, I don't think this show is dumb.
No, but I do know a person.
But I know all the reasons they think it's dumb.
I don't think there's anything wrong with doing something like this in the name of fun. Like, this was fun. This was fun, and you get a reward. Like, whether you win or lose, you get a reward. So I'm working myself up now. Like, I'm annoyed with people who would look down on anybody who would do something that is so beneficial, and you know, this has been good for my self-esteem.
Yeah, you're definitely not reading the comments. Artists, you have Abby's head in 55 minutes. Oh, you have 2 hours and 55 minutes remaining.
It doesn't have as much power when it's like 3 hours.
Yeah, it really doesn't. That's actually quite a bit of time.
You're doing good. Just, you know, steady on.
Maki,
Yes.
did it cross your mind at all that you might die between when you left the house and now?
Oh yeah, I mean, living in New York, especially like right after the show, there were those string of subway pushers.
What the fuck? What the fuck? A what?
We-
A subway what?
At the end of December, within, you know, literally like days of each other, there were 2 people pushed onto the subway tracks
What the
by
fuck?
crazy people.
We don't have that.
We don't have
those.
we don't have a subway.
And so I thought, like, yeah, you know, what would happen if I died? Would I just win? Would they make me win?
No.
Posthumously?
No, it would have narrowed our field down considerably.
Yeah.
So it would have been a favor for these 2.
We would have brought Lexi back.
Having to be here, you know, having to come back here, I valued my life just a tad bit more.
Is that the same for you, Abby? Were you worried about death?
God, yes.
Were you constantly fixated on it? On your demise?
Usually I am. Yeah. You see the skull around my neck? Yeah.
Katie, are you glad that you didn't die?
Yes, and I'm with these guys. I thought about what would happen. Like, would it be sad? Would they be like, sadly, Katie could not participate?
We could make such a tasteful episode out of that.
Oh, that
That'd be
intro?
awesome.
Yeah. You've deprived us of some
We
incredible
could make
material.
we could make you black and white in the intro.
But we'd have like a bird.
Yeah, a bird fly by like a dove.
I pictured all that in my mind. I pictured that over, like, while I was flying.
Well, it would have saved us some trouble.
Yeah, if they were all dead,
Yeah.
I would be at home right now.
Right. 15 grand richer.
Yeah.
That would go right in my pocket.
Yeah, that's $7,500 a piece. Think about that.
Yeah. If that's how we end up splitting it. I mean,
Yeah.
we could split it a lot of ways. Do you have friends that are fans of the show?
Yeah, a lot.
So do you watch it with people usually when you watch it, or?
You probably saw the original Team Maki at PAX. They were the guys in the luchador masks kind of sitting up front.
My mom sent me a text today that just says, in all lowercase with no punctuation, it says, I want a Maki shirt. So she's pulling for you. No, Abby, you made it fairly clear during your second challenge that you crave the D, and that you.
In fact, you said if you had a bunch of money, you would get all the cats and all the D.
All the C and all the D. And so.
I don't remember this.
You seriously don't remember saying you wanted all the cats and all the D?
It is one of the funniest things I have ever heard.
Erica still says it.
No, that has currency in our office. That is
So whoa.
That's
Are
a
you
saying now.
Are you saying you don't want all the D now?
I just don't remember it.
So, but has that been your experience?
Are you getting that strip search D?
Like, has it just been a cock carousel?
Is it just vitamin D?
I do get a lot of messages from dudes, but I'm too picky to get all the D. I don't really want all of the D because some of the D is gross.
Yeah. Tell me about it, man. Like if it's suppurating or there's a lot of D, you leave at the side of the road. You know what I mean?
That roadkill D.
Yeah.
I'm envious of you right now working on paper. I feel like I would be a lot faster right now, but. Is there a rule that you have to do these comics in the same medium of the stuff we turned in?
No.
Yeah, whatever your worst fear is, that's what you have to do. Don't ask me any more goddamn questions about this.
Can I switch to paper? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me today, but I'm just not doing well.
Yeah.
You have 2 hours and 23 minutes and 54 seconds.
You draw them however you got to draw them.
Thank you.
That is super interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what is going on.
Sometimes on those cooking shows, like this oven isn't heating right. Like that happens, right?
Yes, here we go.
Are you gonna redraw on paper the strip that you just made?
I had basically nothing. Like I drew the layouts really rough here, and then as I was recreating them digitally, they looked shittier than these super shitty drawings I was doing.
That's no good.
Yeah, I would rather just start over and like pretend that like if this were real life or whatever, my computer's dead, I have to do these comics on paper.
Well, that is very interesting.
Stay tuned for the final episode of Strip Search, Tuesday, June 18th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time on stripsearch.tv.